Good morning, folks. John Havlicek here again with another edition of Common Grounds, where we share a cup of coffee and talk about the political news that I think you and I have, a common interest in. And we probably feel more or less the same way about a lot of these things, regardless of how we vote. Okay, so that's what we're here to do. So let's dive into it. First thing from the Milwaukee Journal-Sentinel is some good news. Good news. Sometimes I get caught up in the negatives. So college prison programs in Wisconsin are expanding. Okay, and what does that mean? Well, under a 2015 Obama program called Second Chance Pell Grants, and credit where credit is due, later expanded in President Trump's first term, folks who are incarcerated in prison can get some schooling. They can get, maybe finish up a high school diploma, maybe get some trade classes, original university credit. And this money pays for that. And that's a good thing because all the research shows that the chances of these people reoffending and being back in prison goes down by about half if they go through these programs. And so that's awesome, right? That saves lives, that saves money, and it saves communities. And so kudos to the folks that run that program, and good luck to the people that are participating in that program, and I wish you the best. Okay. Another one, good news from my perspective, about 23 state attorneys general have filed a lawsuit against the United States Department of Agriculture to release these contingency funds or emergency funds that they have to continue to fund the food share programs like SNAP, folks can get grocery assistance. They have about $3 billion that they're just holding back. They, of course, are saying, we can't spend it this way. In particular, the director of the Office of Management and Budget, the OMB. Now, you might be thinking to yourself, John, where have I heard of that? You heard about this guy here a few days ago. This is Russell Vought. He is the architect of Project 2025, which is to try to dismantle basically the federal government. He, of course, is now taking the position as this high-level official that they can't release that money to fund these programs or prevent children from starving or something like that. I'm paraphrasing, but they, of course, are going to have this. This is going to be a huge fight. So way to go, Governor Evers, and way to go, Attorney General Kaul. I appreciate you guys fighting for the folks who don't have the political clout to fight for themselves. Okay. Now we got a bit of a negative one. Rebecca Taibleson, you might have heard me talk about her a couple weeks ago. She is an assistant U.S. attorney here in Wisconsin. She is a Federalist Society member. Remember this crazy, just warped view of society, right-wing group. She has been confirmed to the 7th Circuit Court of Appeals. Folks, we got to quit, putting these Federalist Society people, giving them job promotions. However, thank you to Senator Tammy Baldwin for voting against her and doing your best to prevent that. All right. And then finally, because we're still going on with the shutdown, the Affordable Care Act subsidies and the shutdown here in Wisconsin. All right, so just to remind people, you got the Republicans who are saying we want a clean bill to continue to fund the government, and the Democrats are saying we're not going to sign that unless you extend the Affordable Care Act subsidies because those are set to go up astronomically at the end of the year. Okay. And then Republicans, of course, answer and say, you want to give free health care to illegal immigrants, which is not true at all. Folks who are undocumented do not have access to any of these programs. Okay. We're talking about regular folks who don't get insurance through their jobs. So there were really good examples in a bunch of different articles. I encourage you to read the New York Times, the Washington Post, Milwaukee Journal-Sentinel, wherever you get your news. Here was a good example. Okay. It was a 60-year-old couple, so two people, retirees, on a medium-level plan, making $85,000 a year. they will see their premiums go up $30,000 next year. That's their premiums. Okay. And now remember, this 60-year-old couple retirees, I'm guessing, it's a hypothetical here. $85,000 is not like a house in France. $85,000 is not buying a private jet, which, by the way, the Republicans want you to have a tax break if you have a private jet. They put that into their big, beautiful bill last summer. $85,000 a year is two retirees who have probably paid into their pensions for 35 years. And now they're living a regular life. They got a house like this. They buy groceries at the same place I buy groceries. Okay? So, we got the Dems who are fighting for stuff, for good stuff, for regular folks, for like you and me. And so, stick to your guns, figuratively. If you live in a conservative area, call your legislator and tell them, hey, you need to extend those Affordable Care Act subsidies. End of story. All right. So that's it for me today. And those are your updates. Have a good day.